Is this room full of multiple paintings, or is it just one work of art? No one really knows. This is the eye-catching work which used to belong to the wealthy noble by the name Fannius Sinister of the Roman Republic, an individual often referred to as the exquisite artist. The painting is classified as a style that is difficult to master, known as a Buon Fresco, which entails a painstakingly difficult process of applying paint onto nothing but a wall. But this exact painting is an evolved form of its ancestors, which go as far back as to the Greek civilization. Around 9th century BCE, this was painted directly inside the Knossos Palace in Greece, one of the first recorded pieces of evidence of Buon Fresco being used. But what is a Buon Fresco? In its entirety, it is essentially a painting done on a plaster, which was applied onto a wall which was inside a room. Unlike the cavemen who painted directly onto the wall and created dull images, the Greeks experimented and created a plaster with a specific chemical composition to make the paint seem more vibrant. This was the birth of the Buon Fresco. However, not many artists were creating fresco art, mainly because it was a very difficult task. After the plaster was applied onto the wall, the artist had roughly 9 hours before it dried up. If the painter didn't finish in that time span, they would have to chip off the unpainted plaster only to start from where they left off the next day. Not only did they have to be quick in their painting, they had to be precise. Once the paint is absorbed by the plaster, the color becomes permanent and cannot be repainted. As the years flew by, the Romans came to power and adopted the styles of the land they conquered. From the Greeks, they stole the techniques used to create the Buon Fresco, and to show their superiority, they changed it up to seem like they were the ones who created it in the first place. But alas, the Roman artists found it impossibly difficult to replicate the style that the Greeks used. As the demand for Buon Frescoes grew in wealthy households, the artists did not want to admit that it was hard because of their lack of skill. Instead, they changed the way the paint game was played. They altered the chemical composition of the plaster to make it stronger and dry slower. They even chose to paint with darker colors so that mistakes wouldn't appear evidently to the common onlooker. All was fine until the tastes of the wealthy Romans changed. To accommodate for the new trends in the art world, the style of wall painting changed 4 times during the Roman reign. Style 1 was known as incrustation and used large patches of colored blocks to resemble marble. It also used stucco moldings to make part of the painting appear raised in comparison to the rest. Majority of the colors used in this time frame were yellow, purple, pink, and red. Style 2 was known as the architectural age, where the painted blocks of marble were replaced with actual blocks of marble for texture. These slabs were lined around the entire painting, which were more based off of imaginary scenes of fighting. The artists in this era were trying to achieve an effect as if the onlooker was looking out of a window. Common objects like vases and shelves were often present in majority of these paintings. Style 3 lasted for about 50 years and held a generation's worth of paintings that came to behold the color blue, green, and red. Many of these paintings were minimalistic and had small extra design features. A lot of these paintings also started to incorporate little monumental features into each scene that was created, with columns of marble always finding their way into the background or even foreground of almost every single painting. And finally, Style 4, the intricate era. These paintings finally encompassed all the features of the previous 3 styles to create a crowded image that was quite appealing to the people of the time. These scenes tended to bear mythological landscapes and were only painted in Pompeii, and due to the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in Pompeii, many of the villas and rich houses were burnt and crushed, taking the beautiful paintings with them. While we may never know what the 4 style paintings look like, we have just but one to view. This masterpiece hangs in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York and fits centuries worth of change to technique, material, and trend all into one room. Its existential features in their own way represent the birth of the new style of painting, the Buon Fresco.